Here's a little update on what has happened since my last video. In my last video, I was like, it's okay to love people, it's okay to want things, it's okay to grieve. And that's all true, and I think there's a place for like all these different feelings and experiences. And I feel like I cycle through so many different feelings during this breakup, and like they're all where I'm supposed to be. Like anger, grief, love, and then like just detachment, not caring. Like, I don't know, I feel like I just keep cycling through all these things over and over. And like, I'm supposed to have different perspectives at different times. And also, I feel like I used to really judge people for like being so obsessed with love. And I was like, why are there so many heartbreak songs? Why is every song about love? Like, there's all these other important, interesting things that happen. But I feel like relationships are how a lot of people experience themselves and like face their childhood wounds and stuff. Like, most people do that through relationships. And in a way, relationships are kind of like playing life on hard mode, because you do have to really look in the mirror and like face yourself, whether or not you're realizing that that's what's happening. Because a lot of people are just gonna like blame it on all the external things, right? And be like, it's just that person, it has nothing to do with me. But yeah, this whole experience has been so intense that I'm like, I get it now. I get why everyone writes songs about love and breakups, because it is such an intense experience and you have to make art about it to like heal through it. And it's funny, like the things that you judge people for, I feel like the universe is always gonna give you empathy. So be careful what you judge people for or what you don't understand, because I feel like you will end up having an experience that makes you understand. But obviously, I guess you can't really control what you don't understand, and we're meant to just have different human experiences and like increase our understanding of what other people are going through and experiencing. I think that's just like karma. Like, if you think, oh, they don't have it that bad, then the universe might show you what it's actually like to have that experience. But anyways, yeah, so my last video, I was just like allowing myself to love and miss this person. And then I think I kind of got into a place of like really being sad about everything and just being like, I've sacrificed all these different foods, I stopped drinking, I stopped all my vices, I gave up my 5-year relationship. I mean, I got broken up with, so I guess that wasn't really my choice. But I did surrender to the universe and just be like, okay, I'm not even gonna try to get it back. Or like, if the opportunity arose, I would not get back with this person, even though there's a part of me that wants to, my ego wants to. But I was just like, I've done all this shit, I've been a really good person for my entire life, I never get revenge, I never do anything to try to hurt people. And I was kind of just in this place of like, I think it's because I was at work and I was hungry. Like, a lot of times when I'm hungry at work, I kind of get in like a worse mood. But yeah, I was just kind of in one of those moods where I was like ungrateful and unhappy with my life, and I was like, why am I still working at a restaurant? Why have things not gotten easier and things not changed for the better yet? Even though there's so many changes happening every day in my life, and like there's actually growth in so many areas of my life. And then mentally, it's like every day I realize I healed a huge thing in my life and like a huge unhealthy mindset that I have. It's like every single day I like work through a new one, and it's actually happening so fast. And most of the time I do recognize that and like really feel that, but then you have moments where you're just like annoyed and grieving and whatever, and I think it's fine and you should honor that. And once you're able to like validate that and move through that feeling, then you can go back to being grateful, and it's easy to be. Because when I am in these low places, it's like my brain always goes, oh, but you should be grateful for this, oh, but blah blah blah. And really, that's invalidating yourself. Like, you're saying, oh no, you shouldn't feel that, you should feel this way instead. And it's like, you actually need to like fully experience it and like validate it, and then you can move out of it. And so that's something I still catch myself doing all the time. Like, I try to see the bright side, I try to be optimistic, I try to be grateful, and it's like, sometimes you just gotta let yourself be annoyed and sad and whatever. So yeah, I kind of had that like low on, I think it was around the new moon or on the new moon. And then I really grieved my relationship, and I feel like I kind of saw it for what it was instead of like romanticizing him and like confusing him with myself. Like, I feel like I always project my empatheticness onto other people, and I assume like everyone else cares about people just as much as I do and stuff. But it's not necessarily the case. I have a Pisces Venus, and I love to just like romanticize things and like just I like to be like, oh, we have this like special connection, we have this deep spiritual love, and like really everything is spiritual. Like every single person, every single relationship you have is very spiritual, and it goes beyond the physical. But at the same time, it's like, he's just a man. He's not like, the qualities I like about myself, he doesn't necessarily have all of them. And I think that I like wanted to pretend that he did, and that he was like more similar to me, and that we like are both on this like beautiful spiritual path, becoming the best versions of ourselves, and caring so deeply about other people, and loving so deeply, and overcoming our egos. But it's like, if you look at the facts, like he's very deep in his ego still. But I think I just like finally accepted, like, it's not this magical connection, like you're not gonna come back together healed. Like, it served its purpose, it awakened you, it helped you heal in so many ways, and it's over now. And that's exactly what it was meant to be. I know that we had past lives together, and I know that we were soulmates, and like when I met him, it felt like I knew him immediately, and it felt really easy to talk to him. But that doesn't mean you're meant to be with that person forever. It's just like, we chose to have this experience in this lifetime, to have a long-term relationship that helped me heal in a million ways, but also like was kind of toxic in ways. And yeah, I feel like I can just finally see it for what it is, and not try to like keep wanting it to be something more than what it was, or keep believing that he was something more than what he was. Because if I actually look at the facts, like he would say a lot of things and not actually follow through and do them. Like when we broke up, he was like, I'm gonna write you a letter. I wrote him a nice long ass letter, which sometimes I want to be like, fuck you, I don't mean what I said in that letter. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna like, I feel like we heal people with love. It's okay to be loving towards people. It's okay to be nice towards people. But sometimes I think about the things he did and I get angry, and I'm like, I don't actually see you that way sometimes. But it's like, our perspective is always shifting so much. But like, he said he was gonna write me a letter. I wrote him a nice long ass letter. When he broke up with me, he was like, I'm still gonna get you a Christmas gift, which I really didn't expect or want anything, but it's just like a reminder that he always says things that he's not actually gonna do. And he was like, I'm gonna send you this cleanser. He had gotten me this face wash in Japan because I have a bunch of chemical sensitivities and stuff, and like, I guess the skincare is cleaner there. So I found this face wash I could use there, and he was like, oh, I found this website I can order it off of. So he told me he was gonna send me some, and it never came. And it's like, whenever I want to get back with him, I just remember that, and it's such a small thing, but it's like, you know, I have chemical sensitivities, and that I'm gonna go have to try to find a new face wash and like potentially have trouble breathing for a few hours. And it's like, damn, you don't even care about me that much to like buy me a $20 face wash. Like, I want to believe that he loved me as much as I loved him, but when I remember things like that and just like other things he did to me, I'm like, I would never ever do that to someone. I would never treat someone like that. And it's like, he's not the person that I was telling myself that he was our whole relationship. And so I feel like I finally like processed that this past week. It's like, did you stop caring about my well-being, or did you never care about my well-being? And I also found this like old letter that he wrote me from a past breakup, when he had DM'd girls on Instagram, like flirting with them, and I broke up with him for a week. And he was like, just like over and over, like, I love you, I miss you so much, I just want to be with you, like, I'm so sorry, I let my ego get in the way, blah, blah. But then there was like one line that was like, I just want to be with you, or someone who treats me like you do. And so I'm like, do you just like how I treat you, or like, do you like me? Because I always like loved him as a person, but now the one thing I would change is how he treated me, because I do recognize that I deserve to be treated better. Like, I just deserve to be treated the way that I treat other people, which is very, very well. But yeah, it's just like, did you actually like me as a person, or you just liked what I did for you, you liked how I treated you? But the reality is, it doesn't even matter anymore, because either way, we're never getting together again. It doesn't really matter what it was. Like, I don't need to keep ruminating and trying to figure it out and like make sense of it all and process it all. I think I already spent so much time processing all of it, and now the lesson is really to move on with my life and to focus on other things. Yeah, it's okay to grieve things, it's okay to love people, but I don't need to be spending hours every day or even minutes thinking about how much I love him and how much fun I had with him. I should be focusing on my new life and creating the life that I want, and doing things in the moment that I want. And it's like I accepted what happened, I surrendered, I trusted the universe, I let myself feel all the negative emotions, but I was still kind of living in the past because I was still just like missing the past, wanting something that I didn't have in that moment, instead of focusing on the life that I want and all the things I have and all the things that I can do now. Even though there were a lot of phases where I was focused on that and just like enjoying my life and appreciating all the things I get to do when I'm alone and like free to do whatever I want. But yeah, it's just like I really cycle through all these different moods and perspectives, and now I'm just really in a place where I'm like, okay, just like stop thinking about it. It's okay to detach. It's okay to let go of the emotions. Just focus on creating the life that you want and living your new life that you manifested, that you asked for. It's like when I went to college, I wasn't sitting around thinking about how I miss my high school friends and I miss high school. Even though my high school friends were great, I was just fully engaged in my new life and creating a life that I love and enjoy and enjoying it. And that's what I have to do now. And I think everything happened the way that it was meant to. Like, I think it's okay that it took me that long to process it and to get to this point. And it's Aries season, it's April. This is like the season of new beginnings and actually taking action. And I think I did a lot of like healing and resting and just being with myself, healing so many parts of my mind. I think winter really is a period for like rest and reflection, and that's really what I did. And I healed so much internally, which is really the most important thing you can do and the most productive thing that you can do. But it gets to a point where it's like, okay, now it's time to re-enter society and enjoy life, because that's the reason I did all of this, is because I wanted to enjoy my life and I wanted to connect to people and have a better life experience and have new experiences and fulfilling interactions and see the world. But yeah, it was painful to like realize that I was like in love with an illusion. Like, I had created this own illusion in my head. I had romanticized everything so much, and it's kind of cool that my brain can do that and it can create like this magical perception of things, but I need to like apply that to other areas of my life and like to my current life, and not to like my past or to like certain people that are not good for me. It's like also important to see things for how they are and like realistically, because if you excuse people acting out of their ego over and over again because you know like everyone has a good soul, like where do you draw the line? I deserve someone who doesn't act out of their ego, who isn't super insecure and needs validation and needs all these different things, because that's how I am. But yeah, it's just so weird when you like find your sense of safety and security and happiness and you connect to yourself through a specific person, and then it's like it's just such a weird, intense experience. And I didn't realize like breakups were this intense, and I just kept wondering, like, is it different for me? Like, is this like a real like soul connection, actually meant to be, actually divine counterparts, actually gonna end up together one day? Or like, does everyone feel this deeply and this connected to people? And I think it is that like a lot of people experience this deep of a connection, and it's still not meant to be forever. It's still not meant to last forever. Like, it served its purpose. And really, you're the one creating that like deep magical feeling. It's always been your mind. It wasn't like actually anything external, because everything is spiritual. The world is spiritual. Everything is deep. I met him at a time in my life where I was so traumatized by so many horrible living situations and like bad friendships. I used to be pretty outgoing, and when I met him, I kind of just like started to really shut myself off from the world and kind of just stuck with the friends that I had, who have slowly dwindled down. But yeah, I just really felt safe like being within myself, not really being social, not really opening my heart up to the world and like participating in it. Like, I just was protecting myself for like several years, which I think I had to do to heal my health issues and my mental health, and it was all a necessary part of the process. But now that period of my life is finally ending, and I think that being with him would have held me back from being able to be open and friendly, because I feel like he did benefit from it because he was insecure, which like I never wanted to like flirt with people or give people the wrong idea, but I feel like I might have taken it too far into like not being friendly and not even like forming friendships or like talking to men at all. But yeah, it's like I'm kind of realizing that I think he did like a certain version of me. Like, he didn't like all of me. He didn't like me in my full potential. Like, he wanted me to be this people pleasing. Not that I was like such a people pleaser in the relationship, like I had already healed from that a lot, and not that he was like a narcissist or like anything that bad. Like he always said he wanted me to put myself first, he wanted me to focus on my own needs and stuff. I think maybe subconsciously like he felt safer and more comfortable if I was like really generous to him and giving a lot of my time and energy to him, which means like not giving it to other people and other goals and dreams. But yeah, I think I was just at a time in my life where I just wanted to really protect myself and just feel safe in familiarity and comfort, and not putting myself out there and trying new things and meeting new people again. Like I just wanted to be safe and make myself small, and I did need that for a time. It was very healing, but I think it's time for me to like re-enter society and step into my power. But it's also just weird to think about, like he really doesn't know the full, he really just knew one version of me that like was a certain way, and like probably sees me very differently than I see myself, because I was kind of this like very closed off, like fearful version of me. I was like really confident when I met him. Like I was like secure in myself and like loved who I was, but I was scared of the world. I was like scared of people hurting me. And so that's where I'm at now. Like I know in my last video I was like, I don't want to detach. I love feeling emotions. I love feeling love for other people. But now I'm like, okay, I can detach. Like there doesn't need to be such strong emotions there. I don't need to be thinking about this every day. You can't just keep ruminating on the past, wishing for the past, and like being in this state of lack and missing things. Start to create the life that you want and appreciate your life and do what you want with it. Make the most of every second and like love where you're at, because you're exactly where you're meant to be and you never get to relive this moment. The more time that I spend just like focused on myself and what makes me happy and creating the life that I want and meeting new people, the better. I think this is the completion to healing from the breakup. Although who knows, you know, we always cycle through different emotions and I'm sure it'll come up sometimes. But yeah, it took me a long time to get here, and I don't know, it's just a lot to process. There's no way I could have like faced the truth of who he is and what our relationship is like the first week of the breakup. There were so many other issues I had to deal with then and like heal then, and it just takes time to like work through everything, you know? Then I just had to like feel safe being alone and like being with myself and like losing things and like work through my grief and stuff. I couldn't like focus on all the bad. So for a while I just had to lie to myself and like believe in a certain reality. But yeah, overall I love my life. Even when I was like crying for hours, it felt so good. Like it was so weird. It literally felt like drugs. Like it felt so good to like cry and be sad. It's like you get to a certain point in your spiritual awakening where everything feels good, like even crying. And I don't know, it's weird, it's hard to explain. But yeah, life is great. Like I just go through all these different emotions, but they're all like enjoyable in their own way. So yeah, I finally just faced reality of like, this person treated you in ways that you would never treat someone. They obviously didn't really feel the same about you. They didn't really love you unconditionally in the way that you love other people. They're just like not the person you thought they were and that you have been thinking they are this whole time. And that was like hard to grieve. That was sad. I cried for hours, but it was necessary. And it did take me a long time to get there. You really have to look at people's actions. Would you do what they do? And it's like, maybe he did care about me just as much, but he still let his ego take over. He let his insecurities and fears dictate the way that he acted. And I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't treat a person in that way. I always care so much about people and like want to make them feel good, and I have the discipline to make good decisions and to treat people well always.